We're at the Lusail International Circuit in Doha, Qatar for round 13 of the FIA Formula 2 Championship in 2025. Just 2 race weekends remain, 4 races in total to decide the F2 champion, and Leonardo Forlaroli has the limit. Here we go. In Formula 2 so far, qualifying was a very interesting phenomenon. Once again, the track limits being explored as well. Many of the drivers having problems. Oli Goethe took pole position but was then given a grid penalty. Leonardo Forlaroli will start on pole position for the feature race tomorrow. But for today's sprint around the tight Lusail circuit, Richard Verschoor has inherited pole position. Oli Goethe now 13th on the grid as we get ready for a showdown. It's round 13 of the FIA Formula 2 Championship. We're at the Lusail International Circuit in Doha, Qatar. 3 months have passed since we were last in action at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. And now we head for the first of 2 parts in a duel in the desert. Welcome to a 23-lap sprint race around a 5.419 kilometre circuit. We have a total of just 1 DRS zone down the start-finish straight. It's a tight, narrow circuit where overtaking is extremely limited. While we've got the hard tyre compound and the soft tyre compound, a step change around here. Last year in the feature race, 23-lap hard was the running tyre that took his winning strategy. We're expecting, with tyre usage high, everyone to be on the mediums. Brake wear downforce is high as well. It could be very interesting. And welcome up to the commentary box. Myself, Joshua Birch, alongside Omi and Wes, ready to get going for today's race. There's Joshua Durskin with his eyes closed, visualising what he's going to see out there on the circuit today. But Omi, a couple of months have passed since the last time we were in action in Azerbaijan, and now the pressure is on. Anything can happen. We've got such a close title fight at the front. I don't know who's going to win it where. Leonardo Forlaroli, he is our championship leader on 188 points. Crawford on 169, Browning 161, Verschoor with an outside shot at 151. There is so much still to play in F2.
There really, really is. Oliver Goethe, well, he should have been on pole for tomorrow. He should have been 10 today, but he's been hit with a 3-place grid penalty, meaning he's 3 places back from where he should have been.
Yep, and that was all because of the impediments that we saw as well, Wes, and 3 places back on this grid, it's effectively you're done for.
Yeah, you are, as we saw in the sprint race for F1 earlier on. It's just not difficult to come. It is difficult to come back from.
Is the starting grid then? Omi, take us through it.
Lawrence Van Hoopen finding himself in 22nd position in the second round of Formula 2 alongside his debutant teammate James Walton is 21st. Kushmani in 20th next to Kian Shields. Luke Browning, one of the contenders for the title, P3 coming into this round alongside possible Formula 1 driver for next year, Arvid Lindblad. Rutoma Miata will go from P16. Jack Crawford right now finds himself second in the points battle. He'll go from 15th for both races this weekend. Gabriele Mini starts in 14th, and then it is Gerther alongside, 3 places back as we were mentioning earlier on. John Bennett finds himself in 12th. This is the venue where he made his debut 1 year ago. He's alongside Martinius Stenshorn. Dina Beganovic is in 10th, and then it is Leonardo Fornaroli, our pole sitter and our championship leader for tomorrow's race report. Victor Martins is in 8th for this race, and then it is Roman Stanek alongside in P7. Alex Dunn is in 6th, no longer backed by McLaren. Sebastian Montoya, part of the Prema outfit, he's in P5. Nicola Solov's debut in Formula 2 will go from 4th, and then it is Villa Gomez alongside in 3rd. Our front row is shared by Joshua Dirksen and Richard Verschaw as he reaches the end of his Formula 2 career.
Getting ready for the start then as well. Focus very much on the sprint race here as the night has fallen, and Wes, night race running in Losail is always better. The only other time these drivers have had action here is qualifying, so it's sort of qualifying matters with the sprint, but practice matters for the feature race. It's all different.
Yeah, it does, and the times those sessions take place is very important as well, as we got a real sense of just how hard it is to warm up the tires, but even once they're warmed up, how difficult it is just to be able to keep them from going off. And of course, we mentioned a couple times yesterday how they are a compound softer this year. That's the decision Pirelli has made. So we don't have confirmation of it yet, but we expect everyone to be on the harder of the 2 tires, and most likely tomorrow will be much shorter soft stints.
We have to go for it. After that Saturday in Baku, sorry, we need to go for it, and that's the only thing we can think of.
I want to replicate my start in Melbourne. I started P2 as well, took the lead in T1, and that's my plan for tomorrow, and then for sure manage the tires and grab the victory home.
If I have to accept less, I have to accept less. The most important will be to score points, but that we will go for the win is a certain. So yeah, we will for sure go for it, hopefully have a good start and manage the race as I know I can from there on.
It's our top 3 starting on the grid, Omi, as well. Now, we were talking about the tyre compounds. We've got the hard and softs this weekend. Last year, we had the medium and hard, so we've gone a step softer, but predictably, everybody is going on the hard compound tyre for this session. I feel like that's going to be the sensible decision and the safe decision.
Yeah, with the softs this year, it means you cannot really run the risk of running them at all in this race condition. So you've got to, so unlike last year where we had mediums and hards being trialed by different people and a race to the finish to see who would come out on top, we've got, of course, everyone on the same strategy. So not the same strategy mix that we had 1 year ago, but that's the difference when it comes to the tyres that we've got coming into this weekend. It's just the way it will work. So it's going to be a straight out fight from the start until the end, and also some tyre management to come into play as well.
Yeah, a couple of stats to bring you as well, that the championship leader has only missed out on a point finish twice this season, back in Barcelona in the feature race and in Austria at the sprint. So Leonardo Fornaroli starting 9th on the grid. He's just outside of that points paying position. Whereas as they line up on the grid, this is where the tensions are starting.
Yep, it's all starting now, as we were just briefly on board with the very white car now of Alex Dunn, no longer in the orange McLaren colours, of course. That happened just a little way after Baku, but it's this is the first time we're seeing him back in Rodin colours.
There's Jack Crawford lining up 15th on the grid as well as we get ready. This is starting to get tense now. Well, 4 races, 2 weekends left. The championship is still between, mathematically, 5 drivers. What have we got as we get going here in Losail? Eyes to the lights. Green flag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Lights out, away we go. Good start this time. Brilliant getaway from Joshua Durskin. Richard Vachon did not get the best getaway. That's going to allow Solov to go through on the inside line. And Jasper under attack as well. It's Villa Gomez. He's under attack. Vachon just did not move at all. Durskin leads beautifully into the first corner. And I think Omi as well. Everyone getting through a little bit clear. Look at Montoya. He's jumped ahead of the field now as well. And Alexander Dunn in a bit of trouble in the mid-pack. He's closed out with traffic.
Yeah, Dirksen did exactly what he said in the interview. He wanted to take the lead and he did it. Off the line as well. The Invictus side by side. That's Fornaroli versus Stanek. Stanek will know he can't be aggressive against his teammate. There would have been conversations before the race on that.
Durskin leads from Vachon, Solo, Villa Gomez, Montoya, 3 and Bryant coming through. That's Kushmaini under the inside line of Gabriel Mini. Now they were up in 13th position as well. They're still moving around west in the mid-pack. Fornaroli side by side with his teammate Roman Stanek. And that is not the recipe he wants to do at all. Fornaroli's dropped behind
it's
him.
every man from... He is, yeah, every man for himself out there. He's going to get no help at all from Stanek, his Fornaroli. And I'm sure he wouldn't either if the shoe was on the other foot. Yeah, so Richard Vachon now somehow managed to hold on to second position after what was a terrible getaway off the line. Great start from Dirksen.
Oh, no.
And a shot...
Wide and off the circuit, sorry, Colin Crush, that's Lawrence Van Hopen getting in the way of absolutely everybody in the mid-pack as well. He's side by side now with his teammate of James Wharton. They're just in the middle there, Omi, but that was Van Hopen who made a storming start, losing out on several places.
A shame, a big shame for him because, as you mentioned, he would have gained places. He started on the back row and he finds himself moving backwards on the opening tour. That applied to Shields. One Invictus at the front, one Invictus at the back. Let's go over the line. Montoya's got a chance.
Yeah, Montoya trying on the inside line down to the first corner. He can't get away through on Villa Gomez as well. Durskin leading, the biggest winner at the start though. Crawford up 4 places, where it's exactly what he needed in the championship battle.
Oh, absolutely, yes. This championship is not over yet. He's got a long way to go still to get up into the championship or championship points places, and is right now he's fighting with Victor. With the is that Beganovic? Yeah, that is Crawford. So it's Martens. No, you're right. So Victor Martens there, making it difficult for Crawford, yeah, he's got the fire underneath him.
Stanak's already holding off the back of Leonardo Fornaroli. He's not helping his team at all here, as you said earlier, Wes. It's every man for himself as they continue to push hard. Stanak is holding up Fornaroli. That's not what they need, because now... Oh, hang on, very wide off the track there. Just taking a lyric of track limits as I look away to the timing monitor, but Fornaroli can't get through. Now, Omi, they're all on hard tyres. It's all a level playing field, but it's just attacking. It's 23 laps. These tyres, same as F1, can't do more than 25, so if you push too early, they die quicker.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, you've got to be cautious with the way you approach this. 6 tenths in it for the lead, make that 7 tenths as we arrive down towards the end of the lap. They will have, of course, the DRS open from this point onwards now, so they will get the chance if you are in that detection zone. So there's going to be an opportunity to come in to try and see some switches, and Dirksen is already breaking the slipstream at the front of the field.
Yep, 5 tenths of a second in the lead at the moment. Now 4 tenths with the fastest lap as well, but that belongs now to Vachon with a 1:41.801 down to the breakers zone for turn 1. Stanak still holding back to Fornaroli as they come through. There's a visible gap now as Alexander Dunn in 6th position is holding off the pace. But Wes, looking at this, Vachon is fighting back from a poor getaway from lights out.
Yeah, he certainly is. He had a lot of speed in qualifying yesterday. Seemingly taking pole quite easily there from, although Dirksen was fast as well. As we're looking back now, that's Bennett on the back of Browning, who's having a terrible old time down in 18th position. He's one of the championship contenders too, remember, but he's not making progress up the grid in the same way Crawford is.
No, he is not making his way up the grid that he wanted to. They are still holding back several times at the moment. But just looking at Crawford, he's still stuck behind Victor Martins for 10th position as things currently stand. But I think, Omi, he might get through quite soon. But Durskin, that initial launch he got was better. I want to replay that start quite soon because I don't know. I'm starting to think, because of the way he got away, I'm convinced that Durskin might have dropped that start.
He absolutely flew off the line, didn't he? We'll have to wait for a replay because there's 3 tenths in it, and we're surely going to get a change of the lead in a few moments' time. So round the final corner, Vashor's going to get the chance, and this should be easy. Look how close he is coming round the final corner, JB.
He's got absolutely no drive coming out of turn 16. For sure will have the DRS and he'll move to the inside line. Dunscan goes defensive. Back round the outside comes Richard Vashor and sails into the lead down at turn 1. Meantime, further back, Villa Gomez looking for a move on Solom into the first corner. He can't make the move either, but as he switched to the helicopter camera, it's Richard Vashor back into the lead of the race, and Rafael Villa Gomez a 1:41.217, whereas he's got the lead, the fastest up at the moment. This is a bit of an interesting getaway as he's still looking for a move on the inside.
Yeah, and there is a huge gulf of experience in this series between those two drivers. This is Nicolas Solov's first weekend in Formula 2. He is fresh out of Formula 3 this year. They ended their season at Monza. He's now been switched over to take over from Pepe Marti, and he's got the very experienced Rafael Villa Gomez all over the back of him. Montoya saying they're pushing like animals. I can believe that.
Sebastian's got his father Juan here this weekend, who's been on the commentary team for F1 TV, and they are pushing like animals this weekend as well. They are all out there. It's all fair in love and war, I mean, but there's a championship on the line here. Crawford's impressing me, but he's got to attack Victor Martinez down to turn 1, but that's the only DRS opportunity. It's the only place where everyone's gone defensive on this track, and that's really critical.
If you nail every other part of the lap, yeah, it's realistically only that part of the circuit that you will come under a little bit off thread. Dirksen just trying to maintain the 1 second gap to Vashor, but you could tell that Vashor was pushing on and on and on. He's been able to get the lead. Now let's see what he does from this point onwards until the end of the race. But yes, a best chance is down that start-finish straight, but if they all have DRS, can be slightly tricky to do. Meanwhile, Fornaroti's closing in on his teammate.
Nah, he's not going to make a move down there to turn 1, and there we go again. Crawford looking to the inside, goes a bit too deep into the first corner. The camera's a bit mucky that we're watching on board with as well. Martins holds off at the front. This is effectively a go-kart circuit that we're racing around. It was designed for MotoGP. Gertz has since been noted for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Don't know where that's come from race control. But at the moment, Wes, it is all eyes at the front and all advantage at the front to try and get this one back in.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if we get a replay on that one. But yeah, the F2 cars, despite it being vastly easier to overtake, they're having a similar problem to what F1 were having. There's just their line astern, but they just cannot get close on this extremely tight and twisty, as you said, JB motorcycle circuit.
Here's the start, and Omi, I still think that Durskin might have pulled away a little bit before, but it didn't help for the back getaway from Richard Vashor.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Crawford round the outside. He was very close to going off the circuit, but he's going to find a lot of space down the outside, so he's going to be able to sweep it round, also then possibly get past Beganovic with the inside line in a few moments' time. So yeah, Crawford, one of the big gainers at the start of the contest. This is Alex Dunn, started in 6th, is finding himself still in 6th, but a lot can happen on a race start, as he found out with the Invicta alongside.
Solov's back up into 3rd position according to my timing screen. So he's got back ahead of Rafael Villa Gomez that time by. So Solov now 3rd. I hope we'll see a replay of that soon, Wes. But here's Alexander Dunn, who is in 6th position. He's he's behind Montoya still. And this was Browning. Well, he's still in 18th place, and he got very close to contact.
Yeah, and that's with John Bennett, who he's been fighting with all race long already. Bennett was ahead of him at this point. At some point, he does get ahead of the Van Amersfoort driver, and this will be Van Hopen coming into contact with Miata. That was earlier on. I think you spotted that, JB.
And this is Richard Vashor going on the inside, swapping out to the outside line, Omi, for the move on Joshua Durskin. Brilliantly done in towards turn 1, and that's the expertise showing up in Vashor.
Really, really is. He managed to take that position, immediately go to the critical point of defence to make sure Dirksen can't be the latest on the brakes, which he has proven so many times. He has been certainly on the brakes, especially if you go back to the Austria race where he was battling up against Pepe Marti. In Pepe Marti's spot is Nicolas Solov, as of course Marti gets ready for the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship next week as well.
Yep, we're going to be covering that again. This time next Saturday, we'll be getting ready for Lights Out in Sao Paulo. Myself going to be on the commentary call as well, alongside Jack Pickering, for all of the action from the opening round of Season 12 of the last year of the Gen 3 Evos. Meantime, in Formula 2, we start lap number 7 of this one for 23. And Durskin now under attack from Solov for that second position, Omi.
Yes, absolutely. That is currently the case at the moment, but as Wes has been mentioning, it's just still tricky to follow with the nature of this circuit. It is just so difficult to try and follow and also make a move. We can still have a good race, but it just means that you're not going to be getting the constant passing that we're used to in Formula 2 at so many other circuits.
Vishal leads, Durskin, Solov, Villa Gomez, Montoya, Dunn, Stanak, Folaroli, Stenshaw, and then Victor Martins inside the top 10. Crawford, Boganovic, Mini, Lindblad, Goethe, Maney, Miata, Browning, Bennett, Van Hopen, Wharton and Clan Shields. That's the 22 as they currently run. We're watching the battle between Rafael Villagomez and Sebastian Montoya at the moment, where it's 8/10 of a second between them. And there isn't much at the moment because, as you said just a few moments ago, it is exactly like the F2. Here's Brownie's video.
We can, there's just trying to make some things up on loop. So if you need to go for it, go for it.
Yeah, you're going to have to make your own luck here because, like with F1, as you were saying, there's just no overtaking here, and Goethe, no further investigation for leaving the track and getting advantage. There's no passing here. Even with one DRS zone, they're all stuck again.
Yeah, exactly, and things are starting to get a little desperate now for Luke Browning, mired all the way down in 18th position, stuck behind Ritomo Miata. But yeah, up front, Nicholas Solov, I had to double check that this was his rookie race here in F2, and it is, and he's having an absolutely storming time on the podium. I don't think he is signed up yet for any team for 26, but yeah, I think it's only a matter of time as we see the trident now of Van Hopen all over the back of John Bennett.
All over the back, Omi, and still trying to swing through down at turn 3. Loops back around at 4, and now we've got Van Hopen just hoping he can clean water behind him because James does look fast.
Yeah, and the last thing you need is a fill-in driver getting past you, considering you're a full-time one for next season. And Wharton, well, Formula 3 bound with Prema next year anyway. So it would not be the ideal sight if you were to lose that position. Now, we had battling last year between Victor Martins and Jack Crawford around this circuit in the sprint race, and it was such a feisty battle where Martins had hanged on to third until lap 16, where Crawford finally made the move. So it's quite funny how Martins is actually back ahead of Crawford, and we are getting the same issue 1 year on.
History repeats itself here at Qatar. I think we've spotted that with, well, I'm not going to say, I'll say spoilers ahead then if you weren't watching the F1 sprint race. Go back and take a look at what happened there. But history seems to keep repeating itself at this circuit. Martins in 10th, Crawford 11th, Boganovic in 12th. Mini is in 13th place as we watch Crawford now downhill out of turn 16 towards turn number 1. It's the only bit of elevation really on this entire circuit. A small little dip down towards the back straightaway over the hill. That's it. 0.4 of a meter down as well. It's not really anything. It's more exciting really watching on a MotoGP bike, which Qatar is, as I said in the F1 sprint, a fantastic place for MotoGP. We've had several great races here over the past couple of years, and when it was the season opener, Dovizioso versus Marc Marquez was always one to watch, as right now the F2 and F1 proving that it may be just a bit too big for this circuit, as yeah, it is very wide at the moment. Whereas you've been watching it the same as long as me as well. When was the last time you saw a circuit that was so much more unsuited to these big F1 and F2 cars? Because there's nothing around. You can't even follow, you can't overtake. There's nothing going on here. It's not just the tyres.
I mean, Monaco springs to mind, but that's obviously a much loved one. The only one I can really think in terms of narrowness would be what is now the Okayama, in the mid-90s when we were in the AIDA.
Oh, and that's Van Hopen pushing Wharton right up against the exit of the pit lane, down towards turn 1. Didn't make the move stiff, but yeah, I think that is actually the old AIDA circuit. Is probably the last time I saw a track this bad as well. I mean, I know we're sort of boring you to death here, but that was a bit cheeky there from Van Hopen, pushing Wharton so far towards the pit lane at turn number 1.
I mean, possibly next year we could add Madrid to the list, if it happens, of course, because as we were saying, it could be cancelled, which might save everyone, which might save all of us as well. But yeah, that could definitely be won by the end of next year if it actually ends up happening.
Is that also cancelled for Formula 1 then?
Well, no, it might be cancelled. That's the rumour that Imola could replace it.
Oh, great, one tight circuit for another.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not ideal. For now, it's all set to go ahead, but there's just rumours that have emerged that it could possibly be cancelled due to the planning and all of that stuff not being on time. You know, all of the usual issues. It'll probably happen, but there's always that chance.
So let me guess, somebody took a look at the circuit and thought the 456 chicane might actually kill someone and thought, let's just take a look at this a bit differently, shall we, chaps? Yeah, saw that coming. One more with Forlaroli. I think Omi, we're just going to be waiting now for the remainder of this race. They're all saving their tyres, and barring a safety car, I think it was all decided on lap 1.
Yeah, well, at least we had something on lap 1, and then a few laps on when Rashad took the lead, so I guess we've had something unlike the Formula 1, but yeah, the expectation is definitely a lot more when we come to a Formula 2 race, especially near the end of the season, where the championships are heating up. We want to see absolutely some great, crazy racing, but it is that phase of just waiting for that F2 safety car eventually to come out, because, you know, we usually get it in Formula 2, but it's taking its time in this one.
Taking its time and waiting to see if we do actually even get hold of it. That's going to be, I suppose, an entirely different factor that we have to try and stay upon. Lap 11 of 23 then here, and it is Richard Bashaw leading by 2.4 seconds to Joshua Durtskin, who's in 2nd position. Here's Rito Miata in 17th. He's being attacked by Luke Browning, who's in 18th position. Gap 0.5. And Browning scoring no points will actually drop him down to 4th place in the standings. With Richard Bashaw gaining 11, he'll move up into 3rd. Crawford will be on 169, and just a point more, I believe. Would that be, well, looking at the driver's standings as it is, it'd be 189 for Leonardo Forlaroli, as Browning is, he's so desperate to get through on Miata. He's going left, he's going right, but he's got a great drive coming out of turn 10, and he might go for it around the outside to 11 as well. Can't find the traction, but now the car's not in the right position.
Yeah, but all Miata's got to do is really just stick to his line, and yeah, Browning's really just got no answer for it. The only hope he has is getting a good run out of turn 16 and DRSing it down, and we've lost the picture.
Yeah, I don't think that's my fault actually either. That's because there was no actual loss of signal. I think that's coming from actually coming from our rainstorm that we've got here in the UK at the moment, which outside of the commentary box is a bit flooded. As yeah, because I haven't done anything and it's now repaired itself. So there's a slight bit of kerfuffle outside our commentary box, that broke up our TV pictures. Montoya trying to have a look on the inside there, and here we go again then. Can Luke Browning get ahead of Rito Miata as he pulls down towards turn number 1? Miata's going to have to go defensive on the inside line. Browning, I think, should just hold his line. He does, he sells in the dummy. Miata goes to the inside line to try and go defensive. Browning can't swing around the outside. He can't get the undercut, or can he, coming out of 1? Swinging on the outside, coming into 2. Lifts off, gets the undercut. Tries to put the power back down now. Coming into 4 and 5, it should be an inside job. Moving back. Miata's got it covered. And this is the problem, Omi, as well. You try and go on the attack, and it's so easy to defend it.
Yeah, we've been watching this, but in the meantime, Lindblad and Goethe have been battling, and Victor Martins has lost out to Crawford and Beganovic. So big problems for Victor Martins. He's dropped a couple of positions, and Goethe and Lindblad, as I mentioned, the two Red Bull juniors having a battle.
Here you go, Omi, take it.
Well, this is what was going on there between Goethe and Lindblad. As I mentioned, they had a bit of a switch in position. So they switch once, and then it's going to switch once again in a few meters because Goethe's going to fight back. Then Lindblad will get forced off wide slightly, and then we're going to see the position retaken. Now, this is why Victor Martins loses 2 places. He runs in deep, and he's going to rejoin, of course, finding himself a few places behind.
Yeah, it was wide at the exit of turn 5, Wes, coming into turn 6, so he's dropped a couple of places now as well. That's the stuff we were seeing in practice and qualifying yesterday about how wide you can go on this track. So now Crawford's up 5 places. That's big for his championship hopes.
It is, yeah. He's still technically outside of the points, of course, by a couple of places. He's got Stenson and Fornaroli just ahead of him. But yeah, the degradation is really starting to sit in, so it's going to be about now that we see which drivers have done the best job in looking after the tyres.
Gabriel Mini tries to send it around the outside of Victor Martins in turn 1. Martins went too wide, and Gabriel Mini with an absolutely beautiful switcheroo and dive bomb on the inside line manages to go up into 12th position. We're riding now with Ollie Goethe. We're riding with Arvid Lindblad. Behind him is Ollie Goethe. Browning's past Miata, by the way, into the first corner. Lindblad trying to take the inside line through 4 and 5. And is there going to be another mistake coming? I don't think there is this time. Victor Martins knows that his tyres are still in the danger zone, Omi.
Yeah, they are. They are indeed at the moment. But now we're getting to the phase where we could see some bit of racing due to the tyres falling off the cliff for some drivers. It all now comes down to, as Wes mentioned, the management that they've all done. Were they too greedy at the start? And will that affect them as we go into this final part of the race?
Lap 13 of 23. 12 have been completed. Here's the replay Browning, though, Omi.
Yeah, this is what he was able to do. This time he's able to be a full car length alongside around the outside, and he's just going to be able to commit, it seems like, go the long way round. Miata is actually able to keep his foot in, so they battle it out in towards the next couple of corners, and then I think Browning finally able to slither to the inside, still leaving a full car length there. So good, respectful driving and a place gain for Luke Browning.
Beautiful, beautiful Wes as well. That was superb car control, superb knowledge about where he needs to be on the circuit, and it just a slip through and, well, perfect works.
Yeah, absolutely, and it wasn't unthoughtful either. He didn't need to shove Miata off the track there. That was nice and sensible from Browning, and he can now get off up the road after Kushmaini.
So yellow flag's out. Don't know why.
While the Tridents are side by side, I can tell you it's 6,000 between them on the circuit.
Wharton's dropped back. Wharton has dropped behind Shields and Van Hopen, and there he is. James, and that's Van Hopen off too. Both of the Tridents are off. Van Hopen is stuck. The yellow flags are out, and this might be the safety car. What's happened to James Wharton, though? The cardinal sin of motorsport might have just been committed, and the safety car is out. That's what we needed to spice up this championship and spice up the race. Safety car deployed.
Well, we were kind of expecting it eventually, and I think the Tridents, who've been close to contact, surely did make contact on the run down towards turn 1.
Round the outside, Van Hopen's on the inside, Wharton on the outside. Oh, and they just tangled into each other, Omi.
Goodness me, clumsy stuff as they went into the first turn, and, oh, well, that is just shocking.
This kid, he took him right now. He's such a idiot.
Well, go on, Wes.
Yeah, Van Hopen got just a colossal amount of oversteer there. He just wasn't able to keep the car pointing in the direction he wanted to, and yeah, Wharton was just the innocent bystander there.
So James Wharton is out. There's the Aston Martin safety car down at turn 1. Roman Stanak has come into the pit lane under the safety car. So is Arvid Lindblad, Ollie Goethe, Kushmaini and Luke Browning. You don't often see pit stops in the sprint race, Omi, but tyres being such a critical factor here, you may as well throw back on the softs that you had in the sprint, in the qualifying session yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. On we go, and this race is about to kind of come alive in the way that we would have wanted. So a few different gambles now being taken, and the Formula 2 pit lane gets incredibly busy.
Van Hopen has been able to get out. Now Wharton's still in the gravel trap with a broken front suspension, but Van Hopen, who did have some damage, has continued on despite being stopped on the circuit, so he's now pulling around. I think he might be coming into the pit lane too. The pit lane getting super busy here as they come through, and poor old Kush Miney is having to be held until almost the back there. I mean, that's lost him a lot of places.
Yeah. It is just the unfortunate situation as everyone comes in to make some pit stops. It is really now starting to change things up, and once the safety car comes in, the race should hopefully heat up in a big way, and it's going to be very exciting to see what's going to take place. What I can tell you is the Turn 1 incident has been noted.
So Van Hopen is still circulating. He's not gone back to the pit lane as I thought he might. There is James Wharton, and Wes, he is seemingly content, but when you get back to the pit lane later, I think not even AIX from the F1 movie, that team battle could rival what we're about to see later on. Battling for last place?
Yeah, definitely. The battle for last place, yes. Yeah, James Wharton, of course, is more or less a guest driver in this. He's already signed up for an F3 season next year, so this is pretty much just a stopgap, but yeah, I'm sure he'll take a lot of lessons from this and be able to come back stronger.
So, under the safety car, we've got Vishor, Durtskin, Solov, Villagomez, Montoya, Dunn, Forlaroli, Stenshaw, Crawford, Boganovic the top 10, then Mini, Martins, Miata, Van Hopen, Stanak, Lindblad, Goethe, Bennett, Browning, Shields, Maney and Wharton out of the race. Now Van Hopen's jumped up to 14th, but he has yet to come into the pit stop for that damage, so he might do so this time by. Also, he probably will get a penalty for causing that contact as well, as we wait to see. That's Kushmini stopping and switching off the car, and Kushmini's out of this race. He just came into the pit lane. Now he's pulled off at the back of the circuit. What's happened there?
Well, he was in place for long enough. I hope they got all the wheels secured, but yeah, we'll wait and see when he gets out whether he looks around the car or not. But yeah, considering it's after the pit stop, that does seem a bit suspicious.
I was thinking the same thing, whether or not if it was tyres related, but he was stationary for so long, I would hope they had got him in. So 2 out under the safety car period, Omi.
Wow. It all happens at once, doesn't it, in the FIA Formula 2 Championship? And it looks like that's exactly the case at the moment. Still plenty of laps to go. So we'll hopefully get the clearance going and we can get out onto the circuit for some green flag conditions once again.
Lap 16 out of 23. There's 17 minutes remaining in the 45 minutes that we have to complete the sprint race. Undoubtedly that we were going to have Sky F1 cut off the podium, despite there being 2 hours between the F1 sprint, sorry, 3 hours, just to say, between the F1 sprint and qualifying. They decided not to put the F2 the F2 race just after the F1 race. Make that make sense.
Safety car ending.
Right, let's see what we're going to have this time. Quickly, here's Kushmini though. This is the pit stops. I think you might be right, Wes. Yeah, front right wasn't on. The nut was off.
And and that could well be a penalty for tomorrow's race as well. So goes from bad to worse for Miami.
Here we go again. Vishor's going to have to be careful here because Dirtson's got the run. We know he makes a demon restart, and I think, Omi, if I was Vishor, I'd wait until the exit of the last corner. It's such a long run down to turn 1.
It is, and Vishor is experienced, he knows what he's doing, and he's gone.
Way early, way early. Look at Dursky, he's warming up his tyres. He knows he's going to get the toe all the way down to the first corner. Look at him, he's all over the back, coming out of turn 16. We are green flag, running again here at the Losail International Circuit, down towards turn number 1, and we're going to make a move. Watch out for Forlaroli, he's on the back of Alexander Dunn. He looks to be the closest. Montoya on the back of Villagomez as well, down towards turn 1. Everyone just trying to warm their tyres. Dunn goes defensive, Montoya holding his line. Forlaroli staying behind Dunn, Stencher in 8th, Crawford 9th. Yeah, no one at all making a move into turn 1, Omi.
Yeah, no movements taking place at that precise moment, so the field continue to navigate their way through. Now, can they fire up the tyres and try and go for something? We'll keep an eye on Stanek to see whether he's got anything up against Van Hoopen, but the rest of them continuing to generate heat into the tyre at the moment.
And Wes, I suppose another thing that we should factor into this little debacle is the fact that the DRS has not been enabled until next time by, so they didn't have the momentum. But then again, Stanek's trying to go for a move around the outside of Lawrence Van Hoopen, and Van Hoopen's not going to be able to defend. Stanek was going through on the inside line there. Did he make the move stick? No, he didn't, I don't think. That was hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah,
oh,
it would have been
attack! Montoya under attack! Sorry, kind of question. Montoya getting past there on the inside line by Villagomez, back through for 4th position. Montoya briefly had it. Dunn's now going to try and switch back. Can't get through and follow, and he's right there.
We have to push like crazy this lap. We'll increase the gap with Solov.
Yeah, because Solov's closing in. Back to you, Wes.
Yeah, it's getting absolutely crazy now, and Van Hoopen lost a couple of places there on the timing tower. He's going way down, so he's probably had contact with someone somewhere. He's really been in the wars, and it's not a good race for Trident.
No sign of a yellow flag out there as well, but he was in a battle with Roman Stanek as they come over the line. Montoya under attack from Alexander Dunn, but are we going to see anything else? Look at that, both further back as well as Stanek now moving to the inside line to get ahead of Rita Miata down to turn 1. Lock up from Gabriel Mini as he's attacking the back. Well, he's being attacked by, I should say, Victor Martins, as things back through. Crawford trying to go through everywhere. It's all going mad out there at the moment. Browning trying to have an attack through on Bennett. Homie, this is mad.
This is absolutely ludicrous stuff out there on the circuit. Stanek thinking of it again, but that's just a look this time by. Nothing more than that. We're about to enable the DRS as well, but now can Stanek try and make the move?
Right.
He's gone off in the gravel.
And that's going to allow a little bit of a slipstream on the inside line because it compromised Miata. And Armin Lindblad goes through. Miata's under attack now as well from Molly Goethe, who's able to swing around the outside. Miata should be able to hold through on the inside, but brilliantly held around the outside. Goethe goes through, and here comes John Bennett to try and find some slipstream in the action in the middle sectors. Oh, Wes, this is fantastic.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely brilliant. This is what we've wanted to see all race long, but it's taken a safety car and half the field being on new tyres and half the field on old ones for it to happen. Pit lane infringement possibly for Lindblad there coming across the screen.
I think, that's why the F1 race tomorrow is going to be a little bit more exciting. Let's go for it this lap, says Montoya.
Yes, that is the case indeed. He has to go for it. He has to try it and do something. So, can he go for it? Well, our answer's about to come our way. No DRS for the driver of Villagomez in P4. So, can Montoya try and attack? It might be a little bit too far back, it looks like, by the time they get on the brakes. So, they're not able to go for it this time. But let's see whether he can get a good exit, though, and try and attack later on.
Stanek again trying to go on the inside line on Gabriel Mini into turn 1. Hasn't worked out. Rita Miata getting forced a little bit wide, and John Bennett easily swims through.
Yeah, great move there from John Bennett. Very opportunist move to get past the Japanese driver. This will be Roman Stanek running wide now on the replay, getting a bit out of shape behind Gabriele Mini, but he managed to recover and not lose any places.
This is Montoya, and that's how he got through to 5th place.
That's Gomez.
So is this how he lost a couple of places there? Because Montoya
No,
has
he did.
shut up.
I don't think he did lose any places there. Villa Gomez just getting all out of shape, but just due to the nature of this track, he managed to stay ahead.
Stanek's right in the back of Gabriel Mini, who's looking a little bit lost through turn 7, 8 and 9 as they come through, down through exit turn 10. Opens up the taps. This is it. So Mini's on the hard tyre. Stanek's on the soft, so is Lindblad, Goethe and Bennett. And now still they're attacking each other side by side. That's Lindblad ahead of Ollie Goethe, running in for 14th and 15th. And they're attacking each other like crazy as well.
Yeah, they are. They're absolutely on top of each other at the moment with the way that they are driving. It is getting really, really close as Mini runs slightly in deep. That won't give him good traction around the final corner as well. So that will give the chance, surely, for Roman Stanek to finally try and make the move as they come over the line for lap number 20.
So who is going to be where with 4 laps to go of this race? I can see Clan Shields making a move further back as well. Is he going to go for it? He's side by side with Browning. So is Browning about to lose out on critical positions? He is. Browning down to 19th place, Wes.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Yes, and remember, Luke Browning is one of the cars who came in for new tyres. So just for whatever reason, his car just not working at this point, and he is now last but one in this race.
Here's why. I mean, this is Mini going wide. Battling with Stanek. Yellow flags out. Yellow flags out.
Yeah, absolutely. This was Mini up against Stanek. It was getting very close to contact, but has there been contact on the circuit is our question as well. When we go back to live pictures, hopefully we will find out. We're just currently looking at some replays of the moments we've had after that safety car. And the safety car's deployed. The safety car's deployed again.
So what's happened out there? This is Clan Shields running wide into the gravel trap. And he's going to lose it in front. And this is going to be surely not contact with the 7 of Luke Browning. Coming through turn 14, Browning goes through. But spinning is Clan Shields. And I would assume at turn 14 he has stalled the car. And that is why the safety car has come out. It is that. Clan Shields spins out. And the safety car for the second time today is deployed. And that might give us a one-lap shootout.
Yeah, let's hope it's not like last year where it ended behind the safety car. Hopefully they can quickly get to that one. We're coming to the end of lap number 20 right now. Hopefully they can quickly recover that and we can get one lap at the end of this race.
Well done to the F1 TV direction, who have not remembered that they have the ability to go side by side to show us live TV pictures, because that could have been adjusted very quickly. So Bert Marlander goes out onto the circuit there, Wes. For sure has this one, but we might get a showdown.
Yeah, but Vishor has been pretty unbeatable for this whole race, and he had a 2.5 second gap back to Dirksen before the safety car came out. That'll of course be eradicated, but I think Dirksen is more likely to be looking behind him on the restart than he is looking ahead at Vishor.
We play Lindblad.
What's this going to be then?
Whoa! Late call into the pit lane. Now, we saw this yesterday in Formula 1, didn't we? But Lindblad did not... Well, he got over the bollard there, Wes.
Yeah, so there's a dotted line at the start of... And that's...
I think that's fine.
Yeah, we did see that a lot. That looked okay to me.
It's a dotted line, not a solid line, so... I think that's okay. Omi, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. They've already got something down there to try and recover that car, so yeah, I think we'll get our lap now. But yes, for Arvid Lindblad, it will be investigated after the race, so we'll make sure to bring you the news if anything comes in the F1 main qualifying, as well if anything comes during that. If not, then of course ready for the feature tomorrow. But in terms of Lindblad and Goethe, turn 1 forcing off the track, there's no further investigation.
Personally, I think we don't need anything for that. It looks fine to me, cutting that pit lane entry line, as Clan Shields' car is taken away on the JCB. At least it's not like 2 years ago, Omi, when we came back here and we were under safety car and they couldn't get the car back behind the barrier for what, 10, 15 minutes? And we were like, well, what's happening? Because he can't get it over. We were really struggling last year.
Yeah, last year was a bit of a shame. Antonelli and Miney had contact down at turn 1, so they had to recover those cars. And then also we had, of course, Hadjar Spin. He was able to continue as well. All before that, Oliver Behrman took the lead on this precise lap, lap 21. He was able to get himself to P1 in the sprint 1 year ago. So it was quite the interesting sprint that day. But yes, I think they'll have that one surely covered by the time we get here next lap by. So the safety car should be ending 100%.
Well, it's lap 22 of 23 now, so if it doesn't come in this time by, we will end this race behind the safety car. We still have a lap to go before that happens. What do you think, Wes, as we're on board with Leonardo Folorelli? He'll now lead the title on 190 points, and Crawford 169 back with 3 races to go. Folorelli stands a chance. It looks like it will go to Abu Dhabi, but he stands a chance.
It does, yeah, and Crawford's done such a great job to get up into 9th place, but yeah, sadly there's just no points available for that position. So Fornaroli eases his already sizable gap out even more, and it seems like, and safety car is ending now, so that's great. We are going to get a 1-lap shootout.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well done. Marshals are more effective this year than they were last year.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yes, we are getting a safety car in at the end of this lap. So a one-lap shootout is coming, and now, well, Vishor's had a go at this. Dirksen knows what he's going to do. Let's see how brave Dirksen will go and what's going to happen, because, I mean, you know, they've only got one lap to sort things out. They're going to go absolutely wild. They know that it's now or never.
Should I stay or should I go now? Let's ask them.
Risk it for a biscuit.
Come on, what have you got? What have you got for us? There's the safety car going in. Green flag will be coming back out shortly. For sure, backing the pack up. Dirksken's right there, just waiting to pounce. And when are you going to hit that accelerator? Watch out for Leonardo Forlaroli as well on the attack precipice. He's running in 7th position. Green flag. And for sure, bolts it now. Coming into the entrance at turn 15. Down to the little kink at 16, the right-hander. Dirksen is not in a position to go for it. One more lap around the Losail International Circuit for the F2 sprint race, and we are racing once again. No DRS, remember, so this is all going to have to be on slipstream power. Anyone going to go for a move down to turn 1? Yes, Montoya pulls to the inside line to get ahead of Villagomez. He might also lock up the rear tyres. He just makes it in. Villagomez trying to go around the outside of Solov. Meantime, further back, Alexander Dunn's there. Villagomez goes off the track. Solov's going to keep his foot on it, trying to go around the outside, and they touch wheels. They both go wide. Solov's in the blue gravel, kicks up loads of dust, comes back on, doesn't T-bone anybody. Montoya goes through. Villagomez back up into 3rd, but Omi, that was a chaotic restart.
Chaotic restart as we expected. There is Jack Crawford just ahead as well at the moment, so he's gained a place. He's up against Beganovic. Meanwhile, Victor Martins also finds himself ahead of Gabriele Mini, and he knows he has to defend it into the braking zone.
And Wes, this is now going to be critical because Lindblad's got ahead of Mini, but Dirksken's on the back of for sure, trying to still attack.
Yeah, they certainly are, and that demotion for Nicholas Solov has allowed Crawford to get up into the points. He will be getting 1 point from this race if he stays where he is now.
And there goes Solov up into 10th, but Victor Martins sending around the outside. They're nearly wheel to wheel, nearly come to contact. Lindblad gets ahead of Martins as well. Martins back on the inside line. They're all going to make contact, and they're not careful, and they do. Off goes Lindblad, through goes Martins, through goes Stanak. There's more dust being kicked up further back as well. But into the last corner, he's won 2 feature races this year. It will be his first sprint win of the season. Richard Bashaw takes the checkered flag and wins here in Qatar, with Dirksken in 2nd, Villagomez in 3rd, Montoya just holding off on the line for 4th from Dirksken, and there's a 2-way battle further back. Lindblad ahead of Villagomez, Van Hopen. Lindblad down to 18th. What a crazy end, Omi.
We knew the last lap would be wild, and it was. Not for sure, though. He did the job nice and early, controlled the restart, and can call himself the winner of our sprint race in Qatar.
Well, that's how you do it, Wes, isn't it? One lap shootout. He controlled 2 safety car restarts.
We asked and we certainly received, didn't we? You have to feel very sorry for Nicholas Solov. He was up in that podium position for so much of this race now, and just after that battle with Villagomez, it all went away.
Now watch Montoya on the brakes. He locks the rears and sort of going to get gifted into a position here, Omi.
Yes, as well as Villagomez and Solov barged each other left and right and left and right. Solov with Villagomez running wide, and Villagomez pushing Solov off, and Solov is the one who comes off first, losing major positions. And as Wes mentioned, you have to feel for him. He did so well on debut, and then that's the moment where it fades away.
Just got a feeling Villagomez might get a penalty for that as well, Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. There was a definite argy-bargy with Villagomez being showing him the gravel, and this will be Arvid Lindblad, who fell down right to the back after fighting with his fellow Red Bull stablemate.
So, that's the end of the sprint race. Let's hear from our race winner. Richard Verschoor takes the sprint race here in Losail.
Elsewhere.
Good job, mate. Just perfect. Well done, mate. Well done. Yeah, good job, guys. Thank you. Car was incredible. Thank you. I look forward to tomorrow and touring once again for yesterday. Thank you, guys.
Championship's going to get very entertaining. Okay, let's send it downstairs. Enjoy the world feed. Alex Brundle alongside Chris McCarthy as we hear from our top three in the cool-down room, and we'll be back with the podium.
Championship challenge came in just on the edge of contention.
Good job, good job.
Ooh, yes, guys. That was a nice one. Thank you, Jesus. This one I want to dedicate to my grandma, who is celebrating now in heaven. So, thank you. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for everything.
That's a nice touch. He's got to be the most informed driver in F2 right now. 3 podiums in the last 2 rounds, make that 4 in the last 3 now.
Having one of those weekends where he just takes off in terms of pace, Joshua Dirksen. And I agree with you. He's having a great time at the moment. 3rd place in the sprint race in Monza, 2nd then in the feature, 9th in the first race in Baku, but then back to the podium for the feature.
All right, mate. Well done. That's the last lap I want to see. Vamos. Thank you, guys.
Well, it was robust between the two of them. There'll definitely be a discussion about it. The race control have said as much, but he finds his way to the 3rd spot on the podium for now, and it was a good drive from Villa Gomez.
Bravo, Richard. Well done.
Got a feeling Sky have just cut them off. Yep, I thought so. Let's head down, though, to the team, because guess what? I was prepared for that and was knowing that's going to happen. We're about 30 seconds behind, but let's rejoin the team.
At the moment, 3rd place in the sprint race in Monza, 2nd then in the feature, 9th in the first race in Baku, but then back to the podium for the feature.
All right, mate. Well done. That's the last lap I want to see. Vamos. Thank you, guys.
Well, it was robust between the two of them. There'll definitely be a discussion about it. The race control have said as much, but he finds his way to the 3rd spot on the podium for now, and it was a good drive from Villa Gomez, all things considered.
It was. Coming into today, the only drivers that held 8 wins were Artem Markelov, Nick De Vries and Felipe Drogovic, and now joining that list is Richard Verschoor. A huge congratulations to the MP Motorsport driver, and he has time to go and put himself above the rest of the drivers in the remaining 3 races. Crucially, he closes the gap to Leo Fornaroli heading into the final 3 races in the championship as well. Joshua Dirksen, the most informed driver in this championship, like I said as well, and confirming his future for next season as well. He's slowly becoming one to watch, and Villa Gomez as well.
Yeah,
wow.
Villa Gomez with a lovely sequence of results. Team there just reassuring him that it's all fine, it's all fine, don't worry about it. Down in the Parc Fermé, couple of points finishes for Villa Gomez recently. Retirement in Baku, but comes off a point finish in the feature race, and he'll be very happy with that one.
He's kind of a quiet character, isn't he? But clearly I think they were happy to see him get his elbows out there, but definitely I think an incident that might be looked back on. Nevertheless, for now we see him on the podium, and his 2nd podium of the season, just like he did at Barcelona. So congratulations to him and the Van Amersfoort team, who are still progressing in this championship.
Van Amersfoort will be glad of that result as they move into transfer season.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The team that's a lot of the seats for next year already filled. As we progress into that season, such as the competition for those seats, but teams always looking to finish the season strongly to attract drivers for next year.
Yeah, well, what a race. always is an entertaining one, isn't it? The sprint races in Formula 2 under the lights, and they put on a show.
Second time Formula 2's been here in Qatar. I sense the teams are still getting a feel for how to race here. You know, really, they're trying a lot of different things with the cars. It was incredible to see them get their head around it from free practice to qualifying, and then again from qualifying onto the race. And in some way, fitting that experience paid there for Richard Verschoor. I'm always impressed when I see drivers scamper away from multiple safety car restarts as well. Takes a lot of composure. Takes having the car underneath you, both over a longer stint and also to fire up the tyre quickly. For what it's worth, Keane Shields will take a 5-second penalty for track limits after the race. Will be the least of his worries at the moment, but he will regroup and go again tomorrow as our top three make their way to the cool-down room.
I mean, we didn't race for 2 months, so that's yeah, but since I was here, it's even longer. Yeah. How did you overtake in the last lap? The start was terrible. Just watch. Just watch, okay. I was P1. When the safety car came out, like, and then the second one, I was like, oi, oi, oi. Did you make it? Oi. But Solo went off at the end.
We touched it. It's similar to what
Where did Forna finish? 5?
yeah. He was Solo and Montoya, then Don, then
Then teammates, man. Yeah, they are pushing. So many. Yeah, I thought it was only one. Me too. I thought it was only Roman. Yeah, me too. You were watching also on the screen? Yes. I saw the yellow car and the helmet, I knew it was Roman. But the thing is, also my engineer, I think, at least I heard in the radio, he just told me one car. I was like, I think I just heard one. Oh, so much dust. That is nice.
like a VAR. You know,
yeah,
James,
true, huh?
James, the photographer, confusing.
Really?
I got one of the pictures.
I like it.
It's cool.
I do wonder if we should get bigger graphics so the drivers, as they're driving round, can see all of the pins.
Yeah, it always amazes me that they're able to keep an eye on the race through the big screens as they're going around in Formula 2 cars.
Yeah, it's
that's
it's when you're curious, it seems remarkably simple to do, but it's definitely not. Teams, of course, will instruct drivers to focus on the task at hand without fail, but inevitably you can't help but just a little bit of a look at the screen to see how you're doing. It's like having 20 pit boards all around the circuit. In any case, look at this. An illumination of a podium. Fantastic stuff.
Well, he made history for Mexico when he got on the podium at Barcelona, and Rafael Villagomez is now back there once again in the sprint race. Joshua Dirksen absolutely flying. That's 4 podiums in the last 3 rounds. And Richard Verschoor matches the all-time winning record in Formula 2. 8 wins now to his name for MP Motorsport. Well done to Richard for sure. A great achievement from him, whatever is to happen. And he's given himself a fighting chance. 29 points back now from Leo Fornaroli as he heads into the feature race tomorrow. No doubt there'll be work to do there, but he'll be going in absolutely flying with confidence and knowing he's got great pace underneath him. And so will MP Motorsport. They know how to take people to a lot of wins in this championship, and they've proven that once again with Richard Verschoor. Congratulations to them as well. Joshua Dirksen continuing to climb up the championship standings. He's going to be one to watch going into next season, isn't he? We haven't even done with this one yet. And how about that from Rafael Villagomez? Back to the podium. He's starting to find his feet in Formula 2. And that is our podium, Alex, for the sprint race tomorrow. A big day, particularly for Leo Fornaroli. A chance he could wrap up the championship, so the pressure really on the likes of Verschoor, Crawford and Browning to make sure they stay within contention and try and close the gap.
Well, it's champagne time over there in Qatar, thanks to the world feed for the audio, as Sky did cut us off as I thought they might do. Let's get final thoughts, but first of all, Omi, if you start them up, could you wrap us up with the results, please?
Absolutely, I can. Well, P1 went to Richard Verschoor, who equals Artem Markelov's record, and Felipe Drogovic as well in terms of wins. Dirksen in second and Villagomez in third. Sebastian Montoya found his way to fourth, and then Alex Dunn in P5. Championship leader Leonardo Fornaroli P6, and then it was Stenshall and Crawford getting the final points. Beganovic and Solov 9th and 10th in the order. Martins was in 11th, and then it was Mini, Stanek, Gertha, Bennett, Miata, Browning, Lindblad and Van Hoopen. And then the drivers who did not see the flag, Shields, Miney and James Wharton on debut.
Okay, Wes, to you, your thoughts on that F2 sprint race, please.
It was very up and down, wasn't it? I think the F2 cars were suffering a bit from something similar to F1, but all it took was a little bit of safety car spice, and before we knew it, they were all jockeying for position, and it was a very, very epic last lap shootout. So yeah, I enjoyed that immensely.
Amy?
Well, you know, Verschoor's gaining some momentum. We've got a comeback that is possibly happening in Formula 1. Who knows, a bit of a comeback could be taking place in Formula 2 if we see some drama across tomorrow and the final round in Abu Dhabi.
Cracking to have your company, boys. As always, we will be back tomorrow for the feature race that kicks off our day on JB Motorsports as well. That is coming up at 11:50 a.m. British Summer Time. And then we've got the F1 race from 3 o'clock, lights out at 4. But next up, in around about 15 minutes, you can join us live on JB Motorsports for the Formula 1 qualifying session to get underway here for the Qatar Grand Prix. Richard Verschoor wins the sprint. But can Leonardo Fornaroli win the race at the feature tomorrow from pole position and put one hand on the F2 championship? We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.